Time to kick off a Bears mailbag here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Caleb for MVP leads us off. He says, if Caleb Williams beats Jayden Daniels in 2 weeks, could he still win Rookie of the Year? Yeah, I think the Rookie of the Year race is far from over. If the vote was today, Jayden would probably win it. Um, his raw numbers have been better. I know the Bengals defense isn't great, but that's probably more of a signature win than Caleb has at this point. So he would probably win it, and I wouldn't really argue with it. But if Caleb Williams wins that game on the road, head to head against Jayden, the odds are going to shift dramatically. And the chances of Caleb winning that award, I think, increase. I don't know if he would become the favorite right away, but Jayden's a pretty notable favorite right now. I think it would start to it would become a true two-person race for the second half of the season. Now, who's the better quarterback? Who would you rather have? There's only one answer here on Chicago Bears Now. Type CW for Caleb Williams, JD for Jayden Daniels. Both are playing great, man. Both teams feel pretty good about this situation. C-Dub or JD? Savage Gorillas. Do you think the Bears will trade for a defensive end or an offensive lineman? I mean, those are two spots they could look to target. I would throw defensive tackle in there as well, Savage. I've mentioned guys like Shelby Harris, DJ Jones, BJ Hill. Offensive lineman. Would a guy like Quentin Nelson be available? If Dallas keeps struggling, could they opt to trade Zach Martin, considering he's in a contract year? Could that be a possibility? I'm not sure. But would Trey Henderson hit the market if Cincinnati lost a game or two before the deadline? Maybe. I think Ryan Poles, we know he's an opportunistic GM. He'll definitely be listening to phone calls. We got Caden Gunvaldson. Who are the best centers in the draft and free agency? We appreciate the super chats, guys. Draft, there's a kid from USC. There's a kid from Alabama. I don't know who the top one is right now. It's pretty early in the process. Free agency, I'd have to look. Connor Williams will be a free agent again. He's played pretty decent in Seattle this year. So I know he'd be one for sure. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. Coleman Shelton will be a free agent. 1-year deal. He's played better the last couple weeks, so give him credit. But, you would like to upgrade there if possible, clearly. All right, more questions to be answered from you guys. But first, got to show some love to our sponsor, Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus once you play for just $5. And the way Prize Picks works is it's daily fantasy. Set new lineups every single day. It could be multiple lineups, different sports. Can cross over your sports within your entries. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, a whole lot of sports. Some esports available as well. Got to choose at least 2 players that are on different teams, up to 6. More players you choose, more bang for your buck you can get. But I recommend just getting started with the simple 2-3-player entry. Play for $5. Doesn't matter if you hit or not. You're going to get that $50 bonus into your account if you use code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS. I like Drake May to hit the more on passing yards against the Jags. Their defense, you guys saw it, just not very good. Bijan Robinson, he's run well this year for the most part. Give me the more on his rushing yards as well. 5 to win 15. And if you're a first-time customer, new account, you get a $50 bonus with code CLNS. So check it out today. Pick more, pick less. Prize Picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with certain entries right now. Don't waste any time. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Xavier Soup, who is your MVP so far this season? Most valuable Bear. I mean, you'd probably actually have to say the quarterback, right? Because the way he's played the last 3 games is a direct correlation to winning. I'm not saying he's your best player. Actually, if you want to just simplify it, talk about this is the best player that's been on the team this year, I think it's pretty clearly Jalen Johnson. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen his coverage stats, his PFF numbers, but they're on par with last year, if not better in certain spots. I mean, he just does not give up completions. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Offensively, kind of spreading the wealth, right? But Caleb's got to be up there. The quarterback being good is a direct correlation to the Bears winning 3 games in a row. I don't think there's any question. Zermy, appreciate the 5. He says, with how the Bears are playing right now, what 3 games are you looking forward to this year? Caleb is him. FGB, FGB, FGB. Um, I'm looking forward to the Packers game to kick off that gauntlet at Soldier Field. Like, that's going to be a gut check game. I would say Detroit on Thanksgiving on the road. And then how about at the 49ers? Like, that's a low, I don't want to say low pressure because when that game gets here, that could be a game where it's like, okay, you need to steal one to have a chance to make the playoffs. Who knows? But on paper, that's kind of a let's just let it rip game on the road, see what happens. So those are three that stand out the rest of the way. I mean, Caleb Jayden in 2 weeks. I mean, looking forward to that one too. Like that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, we are so close to 105,000 subscribers. This is the time to subscribe to Chicago Bears now. The Bears are hot. They have a quarterback. Vibes are high. Things have not been this good in a while. Let's get to 105,000 subscribers during the bye week. Sub for Bears Dubs. Let's go. Another super chat from A Moment of Clarity with Blacksmith Ross. Love it. Big up, Chicago Bears. My question is, why do other guys talk down the Bears win for slow competition? But if other teams, like the Chiefs, if other win, it's a good win, why the Caleb hate? Well, the Caleb hate comes from, I think, just people who have weird ideologies and get offended by things like painted fingernails and showing emotion. It's like, guys, this isn't World War II. It's okay to have emotion every once in a while and have a little eccentricness to you. I think that's a big part of that part of it. As far as the competition, look, most people talking about sports have an angle, right? They have an agenda. Um, and look, there's some truth to it. The Bears are balling out against bad teams. Now, here's where I will push back on that. They're blowing out these teams. The Jags won the week before against a decent Colts team, who the Bears lost to. And then the Bears hammered them in London. The Panthers were playing pretty good ball. And by the way, played Atlanta pretty tough yesterday for 3.5 quarters. The Bears punked them. So, I think it's how you win, too, where I don't think the Bears are getting enough credit in that regard. But, yeah, obviously people are going to push back on if the Bears are real or not until they start beating what other people would say are real teams. I could see it now. If they beat the Commanders in 2 weeks, they're going to say, well, the Commanders' defense sucks. They're not as good as their record suggests. Like, get ready for that. So, my advice, focus on what you can control and keep winning games, baby. Little Mayo. Hey, Harrison. Hey, Little Mayo. Haven't actually chatted on here in a bit, but I have watched every stream. Appreciate that. I'm only question is, how is our favorite Bears host doing? First of all, thank you so much checking in. I'm doing great. Coming to Chicago. By the time you watch this, if you're not watching live on Monday, I'm probably already there. Trying to do a Thursday night meetup somewhere in Wrigleyville. Maybe we do Sluggers. Maybe we go to the DraftKings Sportsbook spot. We'll have to wait and see. I'll put a post on my social media on the community tab, all that, once we finalize a spot. But I'm doing great. Family's great. Hopefully you're doing great, and I hope everyone's doing great. And my DMs are always open if you need someone to talk to. Can't promise I'll get right back to you, but I will get back, and you guys know where to find me. Will the Bears make the playoffs? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Let me know. Y for yes and for no. Are the Bears going to be a playoff team? Matt Bellick, you called on the rush defense to improve, and they delivered. 68 yards rushing. Defense is elite and has depth too. Yeah, I mean, look, they've shut down the Texans and the Jags against the run. The other 4 games, they've been spotty, but I called them out, and they delivered a strong performance. I can't think of the only 10-plus yard run, I think, was like a 2nd and 20, and the Bears just dropped like 8 into coverage, and they hit one up the gut for like 14. But that was kind of like okay, if you're going to hand the ball off, we're going to give up yards here type of play. And like a traditional down and distance, they didn't get more than 4 or 5 yards on really any run. So, yeah, they played a good game. And by the way, Bigsby was rolling the 2 weeks prior. So, credit to Matt Eberflus for finding that adjustment. Tito, crab cakes on football, baby. That's all we know. All these haters really quiet with the Caleb hate talk. Kid's a stud. Please, please, please take a C center in the mock. Stay tuned. Mock draft coming up if you're watching live. And if you're not, could be on the channel any day now. So stay tuned. Give me a follow on social media at HGramNFL on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days. Oh, it's always going to be Twitter to me. At HGramNFL on Instagram. DMs are wide open if you want to talk Bears football, life, college football. I'm ready to go, baby. Hit me up on social media.